Well, good morning, everybody. Just want to use this time to share a little bit about one of the dangerous things that can happen after a BCS convention. So it's a little journey that we probably started 2 years ago after one of the convention message that we take away, and also some of the initiative that they were running now with an opportunity to perhaps go wider than a branch level. So I want to share what we have been doing and this opportunity. So again, similar to the last speaker, be happy to huddle with anybody who want to take it further beyond what we'll have time to talk about this morning. I come from the Bedford branch, and Bedford as a place, I don't know whether you can geographically locate it, but it's somewhere up north of London. You can go there by train, by car, etc. Contrast with Manchester or London or Edinburgh, it is a rural area, so it's kind of a broad spread out area. The major city location in terms of employment are probably around Bedford, Luton, Milton Keynes as a major concentration. And there's a lot of people who probably work in London. And so when we talk about membership going to evening meeting, it depends on where they are working. What is the time? They may find it more convenient to stay in London rather than come back up to Bedfordshire. And there's a range of different activities going on, but we are kind of where we are in the way that we fit. We do have 4 universities in our local patch, in the geographic patch, but they're all rather strange except one. So the Open U don't do what you do normally. Cranfield is a postgraduate institution, so students don't stay there for 3 years. And Buckingham is a private university, not exactly private, but they compress the curriculum into 2 years. So again, the dynamics are different. So everything is not the same, but of the one that we do set up a student chapter with the help of Olivia a couple of years ago. And the good thing I have is that within the committee, we have people who have been working on there for multiple years, but we are not that old, and we're keen to pick up new initiative. Roughly a month, we have a meeting a month, regular kind of branch thing. But what is also important to us is that where we are, we have partnership with the local IET chapters, people that we know, Royal Aeronautical Society, local chapters, things that we can do together. Not that we plan it, but as it happened at one time, one of the committee members' wife sits on the committee of the local Federation of Small Business branch, so we also have connection and do things together, and the universities and colleges. And apart from the professional thing, for the last 2 years, we have been doing a family fun day in the National Museum of Computing in Bletchley, which is quite near to us. So that's kind of the range of things that we do. Having talked about who we are, talk about the thing that we take away from a previous convention. I think it may be Roger's convention period when he was president, but I cannot be totally sure. That was a time when the concept of cars was introduced to us, and we were impressed by what Bill was doing. So one of the things that we did when we get home was to say, let's make contact with the Bedford Cars Hub and then find out what they do, whether we can do something together. That connection was interesting. It's a lady called Dee, and at that point in time, she was employed by the Bedford Borough Education Services as the support person for IT and computing. The conversation was actually interesting. I'm sure your region may be much better than ours, but what we discovered from the people on the ground is that the level of ICT and computing teaching in our patch is poor. And one of the reasons is that the teachers that CAST may be doing a lot of training. However, if you understand the psychology of teacher and how the training career of school teacher work, being a governor of a local school, I have some understanding, is that they don't necessarily teach ICT or computing because they were trained or have a first degree in computing. They may be doing something else, but that's a position that needs to be filled in the school, and you do it. And that's a position that you need to rise up to leadership, and that's the topic. So you may have a totally different background understanding, but you're teaching ICT or computing. That's kind of difficult. But also, the situation is that in normal school, keen to be able to be seen as an exceptional school, high-performing school, students going to university with good A levels. Compared with the core subject, computing is a poorly supported subject. So I have a situation where we run this prize program for one school who can come to collect their prize, the head teacher decided they can't come. And in a previous recent meeting, one of the computing head told me that because head teacher's priority have changed, his job was moved from full-time to part-time. So while we are talking about all these good things that we want to do with the professional, our feeding stream of young people coming up with the right computing is a serious cause for concern. Having gained that understanding, what we agreed with Dee was that we'll try to raise something so that we do a computing coding competition for our local area, targeting at Key Stage 3, which is the point that they need to look at choosing subject. But we also have a hidden or maybe not well-published size agenda, is that by doing this competition, try to help the CAS Hub to be able to network with computing teacher and offer whatever help that we can. And thanks to the headquarters team, we raise SFR and then we get the money and we were able to do it mid-year. We run the launch event in the Museum of Computing as a kind of highlight thing, get a group of people together, and we started the first year. Result was not as enthusiastically received as we want. We would like to see all the schools in our patch to participate, but only a portion of them do. We do run through a process. We were able to raise some of the profile, and we were continuing to do that. So the structure, I can explain more, but it's targeted year 7, year 8, and then we do a few things. Teacher and student have to do a team. They submit the thing, we have a judge panel, and then we do a pretty grand prize presentation and cram field. And that kind of work, but it is kind of ongoing. And if you roll up your sleeves and do things at the ground level, what you'll find is that people change. The education budget for all the councils will cut, so the lady who helped us to kick off have to move away because she don't have a job in the local area anymore. So we have to rebuild our team, and so we carry on. However, it's ongoing, and it is going to be another very successful competition this year. But while we are doing this, the serendipity and timing of it happening is that in our region, the Bedfordshire Police was setting up its cybercrime hub, and the leader of that is a gentleman called Superintendent John Gilbert. Superb man. If you ever cross his path, he is probably one of the best person you can work with. And while he was creating this, he realized that he wanted to have the community support. And in the community support, he was looking for stakeholder to connect with. And for reasons that we don't know why, he kind of think BCS know a few things, so he invited the local branch into conversation. Part of the things we understand is that in the way that the police look at the cybercrime activity, they have these 4 Ps. So there's a prevent, so preventing things from happening. Prepare will be more like understanding the threats, etc. Protect will be people putting in the firewall, and then if something bad happens, then it's pursue, which is where the police need to go to do their thing. So he explained all these things for us, still think we are good, and we link together his interest with the work we do with the school competition. So out of that, we kind of have him to give our student prize last year, and out of the police force, actually all the police force in our region have a person who is their school liaison officer that go to all the schools and deliver ECT workshops. So this gentleman is also linked up, and we begin to be able to work with them. The good thing around these is that we, BCS, whatever the headquarters team may believe, are not well known. So when we talk to the local newspaper, say, can you promote our events? Say, very well. In order to buy this 2-inch by 2-inch box, pay us £200. So that's the popularity of BCS at the local level. With the police, when the police want them to publicize something, it's a little bit easier. So for us, the mutual benefit is that they can help us to raise our awareness, and we can probably do something to help them in their prevent agenda. The reality is that the police is broke. They don't have enough money to do all the things that they can. So if there are volunteers to help, they love us. But thank you. But the police structure is also very complex. We were interacting with the 4th level, which is the regional, and which is the local, And then they have a regional that cuts into Eastern region, where we Bedfordshire linked with Hertfordshire and a few other places. And then there's a national. And they divide their job in different ways. So when we actually deal with what we can do, what I put in the boxes is at the branch level, we are more likely interacting with the local force around doing things that can help in the prevent, to work with the schools, etc. But for the prayer and protect, they may be something that need more specialist knowledge. There's areas in which maybe the specialist groups may find opportunity to interact. And then the pursuit should be purely police activity. Citizens probably don't really have too much role in there. So getting that structure becomes interesting. What we were able to do is that, well, John do the prize for us, and then because of the relationship, we do have some mention in the press releases that the police force were launching, so it helps us. We get John to come back to our AGM to do the talk, which was an ongoing thing. He and his team go down to the student chapter and do some talks for us, which is useful. And together we redesigned the competition which we are running this year, so that rather than a simple coding, we're asking the competition participant to code something around a CE safety theme to help their agenda too. So that's ongoing things that we do, and for meetings that we run relevant to their theme, they would be happy to push out to their contact network in terms of awareness. But what we are also interested in is that through the people movement, the chaps who are involved, John have been promoted somewhere else, and his sergeant manager is promoted to the region. We were talking about things that they want us to do, like the school competition. Apart from running in the Bedford branch area, can we do it as a whole region? Can we maybe do it nationally? But if we do that, that means I need to see how the BCS collectively at organization level and other branches have the interest to buy in. They also have interest around us being a partner in their stakeholder local business network. Again, opportunity for us to reach out. And also, they're short of money, so they are looking for volunteer. They have terms like internship, cyber special, so special police, but do the cyber kind of work. Going into the school, the civil servant, the SME. And a key thing for them is how do we influence young people, IT professionals possibly, who may be on the right side of the law rather than working as hackers for their personal interests. And all these are different themes that they are very interested in. So the challenge to us is that, are we ready to step up and respond to that at perhaps the whole organization institute level as well as the branch level? I think for the Bedford branch, we'll continue to do the things that we do, but if there are wider network of resources through this link, we may be able to facilitate a stronger interaction and relationship and work towards this theme of making IT good for society. So that's hopefully enough. And I'll be more than happy to interact, discuss, explain more during the lunch break and another time. Thank you.